So the question is, who are some of the most controversial or unorthodox trainers in Jiu-Jitsu, and some thoughts on them. So a couple things came to mind for different reasons. The first was Marcelo Garcia, not because he's in the tabloids or anything, but because he was, if not the first, one of the first people to put the entire palette of colors that he was using, all his techniques, online for everyone to see. His sparring, the movements he was teaching in class, every day, it was going online. And he said, well, yeah, go ahead, watch, see if you can beat me at this game, pull out the information you can, and he still crushed everybody. And so I think that points more to the strategy of Jiu-Jitsu, where you cannot expect to watch a world champion's game and then walk right into it and beat them at it. It's a very useful learning tool, but it is very interesting to me that at first when that came out, there was a lot of talk about, oh, obviously Marcelo's going to lose now because people know his game. And I think that's just a mistake of confusing awareness with knowledge. Like, I'm aware of his game, but to know his game to the point where you can beat him is an entirely different animal. And then another person that comes to mind, sort of in a different direction, is someone named Ido Portal. He's known for training Conor McGregor in quote-unquote general movement, which was not really clearly defined at any point. And when Conor McGregor did really well, oh, Ido Portal, everyone was praising him. And then when Conor McGregor lost, it was like, oh, what a waste of time to train with Ido Portal. So obviously those don't stack up. I think a good way to understand what Ido Portal was providing for Conor McGregor was improving default positionings. So one way to think about this is, if you were to film somebody walking down the street and then you took a few snapshots of them walking down the street and you pulled those out and you were looking at those different snapshots, you could see how their knee, elbow, shoulder, how they all were aligned at any given moment. And so each of those moments we could call a default positioning. Their elbow's defaulting to this or this, and their knee is doing this or this. And when you train movement, as Ido Portal was doing, what you're trying to do is create the most potential for movement so that I can say I have the most mobility or flexibility, but at the same time making it so that when I'm tired or I'm in a position that I'm not familiar with, I default into a strong shape, meaning the position of my skeleton is strong in relation to where my partner is and in terms of supporting my own weight. And that's very useful. It's just that it must be put into the proper context. You can't just do cartwheels and front flips in the park and then expect to go beat Lyoto Machida in an MMA fight. What you're doing when you train movement with someone like Ido Portal is you're making sure that when you want your right hand to go to a specific place, it goes to that specific place. When you want your shoulder to go back and down to have a stable shoulder position, that happens. When you're tired in the third round of a fight, do your knees start to buckle inward because you're not aware that knee positioning should default to external rotation. Right, so he's somewhat controversial because his credibility on the whole, or movement training on the whole, was linked up with Conor McGregor's performance. But in regards to Jiu-Jitsu, if people focused on their mobility and just increasing over time their ability to fully articulate their shoulders and hips, they would definitely see an improvement in every single round of drilling, every single round of sparring, and it would just continue to accrue as they stayed on that track. If you want more videos, please click below to subscribe. If you want to dive in deeper, you can click here to get a free video seminar I did of one of my favorite sequences from standing to submission. And if you have any questions or anything you want to see, please leave it in the comments below.